Thank you very much, Niall. Yes, Leicester through to the second round of the Carabao Cup, as Niall rightly said there. 2 games, 2 wins at the start of this season for Enzo Maresca and his new Leicester City squad. We've also got the draw for round 2 to talk about over the course of the next 25 minutes or so as we assess that victory over at the Pirelli Stadium. We've got LCFC women defender Sophie Howard with us, former Foxes defender Jerry Taggart, as well as former striker Ewan Roberts as well, who joins us via Zoom. We'll start with you, Ewan. A thoroughly comprehensive, comfortable evening for Leicester this evening.
It was. I'm going to start Dan by saying Niall and Matty do not say job done as well as Tagsters. It was. I mean, we spoke before the game what the lads had to do to get through to the second round. We spoke about attitude's got to be spot on. It was. Application was top class, especially in the first half. Professionalism was there. They showed why they've been a Premier League club for so many years. You get the feeling that some of the lads have had a new lease of life with the new manager coming in. You know, Dennis Pratt, Mark Albrighton, Hamza Chowdhury, sort of surplus to requirements, if you like. They've had a new lease of life. They've been given opportunities. A clean sheet tonight, and I know you've got 2 defenders there who'll be probably more pleased with that than a former centre forward would be. But it's something that the club didn't do enough of last season. In all honesty, the manager's been able to make 7 changes to the team that started against Coventry, and it was still a really strong-looking starting 11 for Leicester. As we've said, job done. First half was an absolutely magnificent performance. 2 cracking goals, dominated possession, but not just dominated possession. There was a good purpose and intensity into the passing. It was a joy to watch. I mean, never really reached the heights in the second half. It was cruise control that second half. If Leicester needed, you've got the feeling that they had at least 2 or 3 gears to go up into if they needed to. Didn't need to, you know. Enzo, he was able to take Wilfred and Ndidi and Winks off after 56, 57 minutes and bring fresh legs on. It's been a good evening. It really, really has. It's been a good start. It's been a good start to the season. 2 wins, and as I say, a clean sheet tonight against Burton.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think job done. Second half wasn't too exciting, but professional performance. No major scares, and that's what we wanted. I think we won the game in the first half and then we controlled it in the second. And in the end, we won the game and off to the second round.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing for me, Dan, overall, over the course of the 2 games, and you know, looking back over some of the pre-season games as well, is you know, Ewan's mentioned a new lease of life for some players who are playing in different positions, playing different roles, being asked to do something that, you know, they probably haven't done before in their careers, and how easily they've fitted into these roles, and none more so than Wilfred Ndidi, you have to say, in this attacking role. The finish from him was sublime, you have to say. But even, you know, players like Hamza Chowdhury stepping in the midfield. I know he's a midfielder, but you know, getting on the ball, one-touch passing, starting moves off. You know, a whole host of players that really, you know, have been given a new lease of life, and it just shows you what the different outlooks that different managers have on certain players, and they're all coming to the table. They're all producing the goods and playing their part.
I suppose it's easier for someone like Hamza Chowdhury to do that role because he is by trade a midfielder.
I guess it's quite natural for him just to get on the ball once he's inverted. And I think the style of play really suits him and players that are similar to him.
Yeah, we saw obviously both goals in the first half. The first one, a fantastic finish from Kelechi Iheanacho.
Yes, a very cheeky finish. I think it allows for awareness though. Like, he has to be aware that there's a gap between the 2 defenders. He wasn't really marked, but that's because he left the defender further back to then drift in between, and then he had time and space for that little cheeky finish.
Yeah, and the add to the cheeky finish, you have to look at Mark Albrighton's deft little chip cross, there was no real pace on it. It was just literally all about delivering a ball into an area or into his feet and letting Kelechi do all the rest. And as Sophie said, Kelechi just pulls off the centre half, and just that little tiny movement is something that gets forgotten if you don't watch close enough, because everybody's waxing lyrical about his back heel finish. Yeah. But actually, just before the cross comes in, the centre half's marking him, and he just pulls off slightly towards the back post. As I say, Brighton just delivers that deft little touch of a cross into his path, and it was a great goal, great move from start to finish.
Yeah.
As we've already spoke about, and then the deft cross meets the cheeky finish at the end.
It wasn't just 2 moments of quality, was it, you? And it was the whole move in itself for that first goal.
No, I think if you want to show people who aren't Leicester supporters how Enzo Maresca wants his team to play, just show them a replay of that goal, because I mean, as we've spoken about, it starts sort of in and around the Leicester penalty area. I think you've got Fass and Doyle in the penalty box. It all starts through them. They play through the lines. They keep the ball. They keep it nice and simple. 1 and 2 touch. They work it up to the Burton penalty area. Yeah, they lose possession there, but what they do, they sort of regain possession nice and quickly because they've got numbers high up the pitch. It's a lovely little ball from Ndidi to Dennis Pratt, who sort of, is he going to put it in? No, Albrighton's got a better angle, and it's a great ball in. It was a great move, it really was, and hopefully, we will see more of that, because that's how Leicester are going to play. It's a joy to watch. It looks as if I don't want to go over the top, Dan, but that first half, it looked as if Leicester had been playing that way for a number of years. They're learning quickly, good positive signs. Yeah, it's small bricks or whatever they call it. It's how you. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they are really good, positive early signs. And there was a lot of doom and gloom, a lot of negativity last season, and understandably so. All of a sudden, it's as if the club's been united, going in the right direction. I'm not going to go over the top. It's only 2 games gone. But the early signs are very, very positive. Yeah,
they're building the foundation, Ewan, I think is maybe what you were trying to say there. But you can see that, Jerry, can't you? Even in, it's been 180 minutes of competitive football, or a little bit more with the new rules of added on time. But we can see that building already, and we can really see it taking shape.
Yeah, I think, listen, let's get it right. Leicester have a good squad, capable of going far in the Championship. But what Enzo Maresca, you call him.
Sorry.
What he's brought to the side is a different dynamic, a different way of playing football. You look at the pass, and we spoke about it, all sharp, crisp, 1 and 2 touch, max, and then getting players forward into the attacking half of the pitch, options on the ball, all over the pitch, and again, when the ball breaks down, because he's got players in forward positions, they're able to then go and close down. And we've seen that many, many times before with Manchester City. When the ball breaks down, they go and shut the ball down quickly. And that's exactly what you see in here, with his own little spin, his own little style on it.
It's good to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting what you mentioned, Jerry, because I don't think goals are scored through controlled possession. You break down the team and then you go and score a beautiful goal. I think most of the time it's you win the ball back and you quickly transition and score the goal. So this winning the ball back immediately and then going and creating, I think we missed a few chances in terms of we didn't create enough, but that would probably be the next step. We're now winning the ball back, so now can we go and hit them hard?
Yeah, there's many ways. What you're saying in his passing game is setting the tone, setting the precedent of how he wants to play football. But like you say, it's very, very rarely you see 25 passes and it ending up in the back line net. So there's different ways you build momentum through the thirds. And with that first goal, that's a perfect example of playing some really good, neat attacking football. It not coming quite off first time round, but knowing when to go and press, win it back, recycle the ball, and then finish with a bit of quality.
And the second came from just a bit of ingenuity, really, from Callum Doyle and Kelechi Iheanacho.
No, absolutely. I think, from my point of view, obviously the free kick, but if you look at the Burton backline, they're literally on the halfway line, they're half asleep, but take nothing away from Iheanacho and Callum Doyle. They've got to spot that, they've got to give each other the eye contact, realise that that's on, and then obviously Callum Doyle has to deliver that quality ball into the channel. Kelechi's on it like a flash, but then he obviously needs support. It's a tight angle for him, and he's looking for support. But he gets that with the athleticism of Wilfred Ndidi, and then he has to apply a top drawer finish. So although it looks easy on the TV, it's not an easy goal to score that, because yes, you've caught the defence napping or the opposition napping, but there's still a lot of work to go till that ball ends up in the back line net.
For those of the viewers, Ewan, that were watching us before kick-off, we spoke about Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi in particular coming up against a team in obviously the division below, how it was an opportunity to potentially get on the score sheet, potentially create something, and that's what we've seen from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's only the second game, as a centre forward, I wanted to play in this competition. Yeah, I remember when I first moved to Norwich, we played Wolves on the opening day, and then in the Tuesday after I'd made my debut, we had, I think it was Barney at home, and I was desperate to play because I knew it was going to be an opportunity for me to score a goal and get off the mark. And we beat them 3-0. I got on the score sheet. I got a brace. And that's the way you look at it, Dan. I can understand managers resting players, especially nowadays, because that's the nature of this competition. Just want to score goals. It's simple as that. And it's as if Wilfred Ndidi, the reins have been taken off him, and he's really enjoying this more forward role that he's got in midfield.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it before the game, about momentum, about that feel-good factor.
And that's individuals as much as a team. Yeah.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter whether you didn't start on Sunday, but the manager will have had a chat with the players that didn't start on Sunday but started tonight. Now's your opportunity. Remember the process. Go and show me. And for the most part, the players that didn't play on Sunday but played tonight did that. And the players that also did play on Sunday that started tonight carried on that feel-good factor from the win on Sunday. They've got the win under the belt. There's no injuries, which is probably the most important thing as well in a game like this. No real scares to talk about. Yes, Burton huffed and puffed slightly a little bit at the back ends of both halves, but all in all, I think the manager's be really, really pleased with the night's work.
We've not forgotten about the man that is still at the Pirelli. He's been on co-commentary duty for us tonight. Matt, how did you find that? Obviously, you've been listening to these guys for the last 10 minutes or so, speaking about the evening, and it was a fairly comfortable one, really, for Leicester.
10 minutes, is that all it is? I've been sitting here twiddling my thumbs. I'm sending texts to producers. Am I needed? Can I go home yet? But I've been informed that you're coming to me sooner or later, Daniel. So, yes, I forgot your question. Over the night, what did I think of the performance?
Something like that.
Yeah, just summarising it or summing it up. It's pretty much been done already, hasn't it? It was a pretty complete performance, really. This stage of the season, the manager probably can't ask for too much more than that with a side that's changed from the weekend. Early stages that are highly impressive for the first 45. Second half, just not seeing it through. You want a little bit more than that, and I think there was more than that, but there wasn't that real requirement or desire or absolute need to force the issue. They were comfortable enough. A couple of scrappy moments where under a bit of pressure you're going to get that, I suppose. But I thought all round, loads of positives all across the pitch, wasn't it? Individually, I thought Hamza Chowdhury was excellent. Wilfred Ndidi, I mentioned, in my view, man of the match. But I see that other stations have given it to Kelechi Iheanacho, I suppose. Somewhat understandably, he's put himself in the manager's mind, hasn't he, for the weekend? James Justin just cruised it, as did most of the Leicester players. In fairness, they were 2 or 3 levels at least above Burton tonight. In all honesty, so it was a resounding performance. And you mentioned the word, and I have tonight already, comprehensive. That pretty much covers it. It was positivity all round. It's seemingly injury-free. Hope that's the case, and all systems go for the weekend, isn't it? The positivity is building up, and some of the football was really intriguing to watch tonight as well. But I think the players need to take quite a little bit of credit, certainly if they can continue in that vein of form and take it through into the league games, because they've taken things on board pretty sharply, seemingly.
Yeah, did I hear you say that Wilfred Ndidi got your man of the match tonight, Matt?
For me, yeah. When you're here, you probably see a little bit more than maybe you do on the cameras. I thought he's all round. He was involved in everything. He was back, tracking back with attacking midfielders of Burton, heading the ball back to Stolarczyk. He was receiving the ball in deep midfield positions, little triangles, gives and goes. He was making 50-yard runs beyond the defensive line of Burton, helping create attacking scenarios, and then top it off. I wouldn't say fizzed one. He strongly clipped one. Guided. That's probably a better word, Batesy. That's why you are where you are in life, son. And guided that into the top corner. That's why I'm squeezed up like a marshmallow here at the Pirelli. But it was an all-action display, and especially with some people sort of scoffing at Ndidi playing in that one of 2 8 roles, if that's what you want, an advanced midfield role. Surely not. He can't do that. Even if he does get in the right positions, he can't do it when the ball's at his feet. Tonight, certainly, hopefully down the line as well, he proved people wrong.
Yeah, do you agree with Matt on Will's performance tonight, Sophie?
Yes, I do actually. As much as we're not in the stadium, I think we saw on the screen that he was involved everywhere.
Yeah.
We saw him tracking the players back, defending, being up top. It's just nice to see. We spoke about trusting the process, building momentum, and I think at the moment they're ticking all the boxes, and it's very promising.
Matt made a good point there about the people maybe raising their eyebrows at Wilf in that more advanced position, but again tonight he's proved any doubters wrong.
Yes, I'd agree. We spoke about he's got that free role now, and I think by the looks of it he's really enjoying that.
Yeah, I think obviously there's more improvement to come from Wilfred Ndidi in that role, but let's put it this way, I don't think there'll be many people who expect him to guide that one into the top corner tonight. Now he has had a reputation of shooting from range, but I think that just shows the improvement in his game under Enzo in such a short space of time. And if he keeps carrying on, then there's no reason why we can't get 5, 6, 7, 8 goals this season from that position. He's got the athleticism to get back and get forward. We've always known that. And what you're seeing now with Wilfred is technical ability improving all the time.
Yeah, clearly goals from those positions are going to be important for Enzo Maresca. And there was 2 for Kiernan at the weekend. Obviously that one for Wilf tonight.
His midfielders are producing, aren't they? I mean, I was shocked, and I just looked earlier, and I think Wilfred's been at the club 8 years. He's never scored in the League Cup, which I find sort of remarkable, to be fair. I mean, he's showing another aspect to his game. He's not really been allowed to do that in previous seasons because he's been labelled as a defensive midfield player, and he's very good at that. But it just goes to show he's not a one-trick pony. He's got another aspect to his game, and if you give him that opportunity, he'll show you what skills he has got further forward, and that's what he's done. He's athletic. He can cover the ground. He's box to box, and as he showed tonight, given the opportunity, he can put one in the top corner.
I think when you look back at his career, I didn't realise he'd been here that long, to be honest. But in Brendan Rodgers' first year in that holding role, there was a lot of clubs looking at him, a lot of commentators waxing lyrical about Wilfred Ndidi, and rightly so under under Brendan Rodgers, but yet we're seeing him, and I suppose people pigeonholed him as a holding defensive style of midfielder, but as you say, now you're seeing him in a completely different role, with the freedom to get into the box, go and support, make those long busting runs from midfield, to split the defence open. And I think it's, you know, testament to the manager to pinpoint that first of all, and then have the confidence to say to him, I'm going to play in a different role. And then for Wilfred to take that on board. And at the minute, you know, I wouldn't say he's flourishing, but tonight you've seen a different side of a player that a lot of people, as I said in the past, probably didn't think he had the ability to pull off.
Yeah, are you confident enough, Matt, that he's done enough this evening to warrant a starting spot against Huddersfield at the weekend?
Yeah, listen, I don't think anyone's getting carried away, but I mean, that's why I made the point of tonight, in its isolation, he's proved people wrong, that he can play that. There's yet to see what he does down the line, and you know, against stiffer opposition. But if you're talking the weekend, him, Dennis Pratt, which way do we go? I think on tonight's performance and the way I've looked at things in pre-season, it said I think he starts. I think he starts at the moment. He might find it difficult to contend with Pratt and Dewsbury Hall down the line in that position, but he's certainly an option, and I imagine whichever way he'll be utilised throughout the season, as will, you know, most of the squad. But he surprised me. He surprised me, as he has, I think, everyone else, with his adaptability. You know, we know Jerry's mentioned there about the athleticism of him, but tonight he was confident. He was playing balls, little triangles, receiving it tight areas. I know he does that to a degree in his usual role, but it was in different parts of the field, and I was thinking, it just looked a different player, quite frankly. But perhaps I'm being, you know, doing a bit of a disservice there. But his reliability with the ball is been a little bit questionable at times, hasn't it? Because that's what's probably held him back a little bit. But tonight he looked, you know, free of any worries, and he was expressing himself. He looked to be revelling in the role, and well done to him for that.
And of course, Ewan, it's against a Neil Warnock side at the weekend in Huddersfield away. We know that will be a battle, won't it? And Wilfred Ndidi's up for any battle.
I mean, he's 6 foot plus. He can look after himself. He's got that physical aspect to his game that you need to have when you go to the John Smith Stadium. You know, unlike Leicester, Huddersfield have had a poor start to the season. They lost at Plymouth at the weekend 3-1. They lost last night to Middlesbrough 3-2 at home. But it'll be a tough nut to crack, you know. I mean, he's a wily old fox. I've played for him for a short spell of time. He took the job over, and they were staring at League One. I mean, I think he had 16 games in charge. He took over after they'd lost 1-0 to Wigan. I think they were in the bottom 3. They finished 11 points above the relegation zone. He won 7 of those 16 games. I mean, they put a great run together. And it just shows what you can do if you get a man in charge who gets a group organised. And that's what Neil Warnock does. You know, he's Marmite, love him or hate him. He can be a controversial character. I get on all right with him. And I was looking, Dan, and the club's last away game in the Championship was a 2-0 win at Huddersfield back in 2014. So it's funny how things come round.
Yeah, there was a stat as well. I think one of their previous Championship games was Coventry as well, which they won. So you never know. Hopefully there's a few parallels. Obviously it'll be a tough game anyway, but you look at Leicester's fixtures coming up, Sophie. There's the likes of Huddersfield, then it's Cardiff at home after that, Rotherham away. There are chances to pick up points, and the way they've played in these opening 2 games, you wouldn't put it past Enzo Maresca and his side picking up early points, which is vital in any campaign.
Definitely wouldn't put it past him. I think what we've seen tonight and in the game against Coventry, we're building momentum and we're building this winning mentality already. But we can't forget, no game's going to be easy. And I think with the performances we're putting in, we're creating a target on our heads, and people are only going to beat us.
The draw is taking place currently. for the second round. It's another away day for Leicester City. They've been drawn away at Tranmere Rovers. That sounds a lot like a one that Jerry Taggart will be going to for us when round 2 happens at the end of the month. But Tranmere Rovers away is the second round draw for the Foxes. So happy with that, Jerry?
I'm just trying to keep a straight face, Dan. Yeah, I think, obviously, from a selfish point of view, I wouldn't have minded a home draw against either a Championship or Premier League side, if I'm being honest. By the time that tie comes around, I'm expecting Leicester to be a bit more fluid than what they already are, which is pretty impressive at the minute. And to see them put their wits against, probably a team from the Premier League, because, as you said, it's early though. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's Tranmere. Another tough away fixture. Not a glamorous club by any stretch, but in the saying that, obviously a team that have reached the final of this competition 23 years ago.
Yeah,
I think it is.
You know it is, Jerry.
Yeah, so we've got form with Tranmere, let's put it that way.
Yeah, well,
in this competition.
There's one man that we have to speak to next, and that is, of course, the man at the Pirelli. Matt, you have fond memories of playing against Tranmere Rovers in this competition, of course. I'm sure you're happy with that draw. It brings back memories.
Brings back memories. I'll tell you what I'm happy with the draw is it's far north enough for me not to do the co-com, so Gerald will be trekking across the Pennines, is it, Hags?
Yes.
All the best with that one, son. But Gerald commentating on that. I'll be sat
water off a duck's back,
nice
friend.
and warm in the studio, eating Dominoes halfway through the first half pizza with Batesy, enjoying Leicester stroll to a convincing, comprehensive victory again in this competition. Hey, strange fact, Batesy, saw it on Twitter today, the goalkeeper that played against us all those years ago at Wembley for Tranmere played for Tranmere last night. What is that all about? 23 years ago. He's now 41 years old, and he played against Barnsley last night in the EFL Carabao Cup.
Well, it'll be time for you to lace your boots then at the end of the month, Matt.
You never know, mate. It gives us all hope, doesn't it? And you thought Ewan was the one with the stats.
Well, your former manager, Martin O'Neill, I gather, on television this evening, has had a nice little dig at you. I don't know if you've seen that, Matt.
I have been texted by relevant people, yes, including my sons. He claims that I've only put on the 15 stone since I last played or something. He's a turncoat, We've spent, as we mentioned earlier, myself and Jerry have had the pleasure of spending a couple of hours with him this afternoon. Nice as pie. As soon as I turn my back, the knives go in, don't they? On national TV as well. Thank you for that one, Martin. Harsh but fair, by the way.
Yes, very, very fair, I would say, Matt. Thank you very much for your company this evening, Matt. It's been another great evening for the Foxes. It's been great to have Sophie Howard, LCFC Women Defender, on with us. How have you found it, your debut on Matchday Live?
I've really enjoyed it. I felt very relaxed, so thanks for having me and thanks for making me feel so relaxed and welcome.
Hopefully the first of many appearances for you this season, and of course best of luck. I'm sure hopefully we'll have you on before your season starts anyway, but best of luck with it. If we don't, thank you very much to Jerry Taggart and to Ewan Roberts as well for their company this evening. If you've only just joined us in the last minute or so, Leicester have been drawn against Tranmere Rovers in the second round of the Carabao Cup. They got to that stage of the competition thanks to a 2-0 victory this evening with Burton. You can catch the highlights on the website and on Foxes Hub at any point. But thank you very much for joining us this evening. Goodbye.